My name is Ann Ellis, and I am the Children, Youth, and Family Minister at Mount Seymour United Church in North Vancouver. And I'd like to welcome you to our video for Sunday, October 18th. We're continuing in our theme of A Future with Hope, which we've been doing for the last 6 weeks, I think. And we've been talking about how we need a lot of patience when we are planting our gardens and when we are planting hope. Sometimes we need to wait quite a long time for seeds to grow and for the harvest to come. Today's video, we will be doing an activity at the end of the video, and you will need some supplies. And I'll give you a list of those now, and you can pause the video and go gather them if you want, but today's activity is going to take a little while, so you might want to wait until the very end of the video before you do this activity. So today, with what you're going to need is you're going to need a big stick. You'll probably be able to find that outside. You'll also want to get some string or yarn. If you have colored yarn, that would be great. And of course, you'll need some scissors for your string, and then you'll want to go and also gather some leaves and some different colored leaves, maybe some branches. I have some lavender from my garden. I found some flowers outside. There's pine cones. I think you can probably take a guess as to what we're going to be making today. So if you do want to go and grab all of those things, you can, or we will just begin. Let's take a moment and just take a deep breath. And settle in and relax. The welcome that we extend in this place is as broad and as deep as we can make it. And you are welcome here, no matter how old or how young you are. You are welcome here, no matter your marital status, your economic status, your financial background. You are welcome here, no matter your sexual orientation, your gender identity, or your gender expression. You're welcome here if you consider yourself to be a Christian or if you are a part of another faith tradition. And you are welcome here if you are curious and full of wonder. And you are welcome here if you seek the ideals of justice, peace, and compassion. You are welcome here. Mount Seymour United Church is located on the unceded and ancestral territory of the Tsleil-Waututh people, who are part of this Coast Salish. And we are so grateful and thankful to have this land where we can work and play and live. And our undying gratitude goes out to the Tsleil-Waututh. Mount Seymour is also located in the Seymour watershed. It is through this watershed that all life exists here. The water feeds the trees and the plants and the flowers and the insects and the birds and the animals and all of the people. And without the watershed, there would be no life. And so we are grateful and we say thank you to our watershed. Once there was a person who said and did such amazing things and told such wonderful stories that people followed him. And once when they asked him who he was, he said, "I am the light." And he also said, "You, my beloveds, are lights in this world. Let your light shine." A city built on a hilltop cannot be hidden. Similarly, it would be silly to light a lamp and hide it under a bowl. When someone lights a lamp, they place it on a table or a desk, and the light illumines the entire house. You are like that illuminating light. Let your light shine everywhere you go, that you may illumine all of creation. So when men and women everywhere see your good actions, they may see creation at its fullest in your bright light. That is from Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 to 16. So you can't really see in my bowl today, but I will show you a little up close. I have some acorns and an oak leaf. About 20 years or so ago, I picked up some acorns like this one from around an oak tree out at Camosun Bog, which is out by UBC. And in the winter of that year, about 20 years ago, I planted some of my acorns in a pot. And I kept that pot in my house, and I kept it warm, and I kept it well watered. And in the spring, I had some baby oaks growing in a pot, just like we have our baby cedar growing in a pot. And now the oak trees are growing in my backyard. But it'll be another 10 or so years, maybe even longer, before I get any acorns from my oak tree. Planting a future with hope takes a lot of patience. And we've seen that over the last few weeks as we've watched our seed of hope growing first quite quickly, and now it's growing quite slowly. It hasn't changed much in the last couple of weeks. And the tiny cedar sapling that I found growing in the crack of the road a few weeks ago won't provide shade for anybody for another 10 or 20 or even 30 years. There's a saying that I really like that says, a society, a community grows great when people plant shade trees they know they'll never sit under. Planting an oak from an acorn, planting a tiny cedar tree. It's going to take a very long time for these trees to provide shade. But if we plant them now, then when our children or our grandchildren or our great-grandchildren are born, they'll have shade. In the Bible, there's a prophet named Isaiah. And remember, prophets bring messages from God to the people of God. In one of his messages, he says, "The Spirit of God is on me. God has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. God has sent me to soothe the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and to release prisoners from darkness." This is a wonderful message for those who are suffering and struggling. And he goes on to say, "All will be called oaks of goodness, a planting by God for the display of God's splendor." Now, oak wood, when it grows into a big tall tree, is very strong, and oaks can grow very tall. They are used in buildings and temples and churches since the time of the Bible. A building made of oak wood will last a very long time. So people being called oaks of goodness means they're strong, sturdy, and they provide comfort and protection. The way a big oak tree provides shade, or a building made of oak wood is strong. But it takes a long time for oak to mature, to be big enough to provide shade, provide strong wood for buildings. We have to plant tiny acorns, nurture them and water them and look after them until they grow strong. Maybe sometimes we don't feel like oaks of goodness that God asks us to be. Maybe we're still little, like an acorn, and we need protection and comfort. God is like a large oak that provides comfort and protection for us. Isaiah also says, "For the soil makes the sprout come up, and a garden causes seeds to grow. So God will make goodness and praise spring up for all nations." God will make goodness and praise spring up for all nations, in the same way that a garden will make seeds grow. So just like in our gardens, when we plant seeds of hope and we practice patience, God plants tiny seeds in us that will grow into big things with nurturing and with goodness. And we need to be patient and remember to take care of these things and look after the plantings within us so that they can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. This is how God works in trees and in us. So our activity today is going to take some time, as I've already mentioned, and you may need some help from a grown-up if you're a little seedling. We're going to make a nature mobile, or mobile? I've never really been sure how to pronounce that word. So you're going to need a stick. This stick is actually a piece of oak from my oak tree at home. And these are some of the leaves from my oak tree. And then you'll need some scissors and some string. And then you'll need different things to attach to your mobile, like leaves and cones and other leaves. Maybe some flowers if you can find some pretty flowers. These are some hydrangeas that are a really nice color. And I found some berries as well. And once you've collected up all of your things, you can find a place in your home where you can tie up some string and then tie your stick to the string and then start tying your different decorations to different pieces of string. So here is how I made mine. That took a while. But it's pretty cool. So let's end our time together with our Seed of Hope prayer. I actually have our Seed of Hope with us today at work. I've moved it into my office. I moved it very carefully. It hasn't grown much since last week. It's got a little tiny bit up here and it might grow a new leaf, but it's slowed down a little bit. This is a Seed of Hope. You remember that our prayer is an action prayer and a repeat after me prayer. So I invite you to get yourselves ready and comfortable, and you can repeat after me. This is the seed of hope that we plant in the soil. This is the seed of hope that we plant in the soil. This is the rain. This is the rain that waters the seed that we plant in the soil. That waters the seed that we plant in the soil. This is the sun that follows the rain. This is the sun that follows the rain, that waters the seed that we plant in the soil, that waters the seed that we plant in the soil. These are the roots that dig down in the dirt. These are the roots that dig down in the dirt, that feeds the seed that we plant in the soil, that feeds the seed that we plant in the soil. This is the plant that grows up towards the sun. This is the plant that grows up towards the sun, that shines on the seed that we plant in the soil, that shines on the seed that we plant in the soil. These are the branches that embrace God's love. These are the branches that embrace God's love. This is the seed of hope. Amen. This is the seed of hope. Amen. I want to say thank you for being with me this week and for being a part of our Future with Hope series. I look forward to seeing you next week with another video. Bye.